If you're running multiple accounts, can you share anything between those accounts? My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. I'm going to be talking about VAT, LLCs, holding companies, bank accounts, credit card numbers, admin email addresses to confirm what you can and can't do when running multiple accounts. I'm going to jump right on in. First thing I want to do is I actually want to draw for you guys some explanations, right? So imagine, I thought I had the circle thing selected. Let's go with that. There we go. Right. So imagine this is our holding company. And I'm going to have 3 Amazon accounts. Just nice 3 circles there just to make this nice and easy. And so this one is going to be holding company. Let's see if I can get the actual draw pen here. There we go. It's a little thin for me. Let's make that a little bigger. Here we go. Holding company right there. So on the left, we're going to have company 1, 2, and 3. And so when running multiple accounts, one of the best things that you can do is have a holding company hold it together. I know we're all trying to hold it together right now in this economy with inflation rates, right? And in here, this holding company could be a corporation, could be another LLC, whatever you want, okay? Each of these companies are going to be Amazon accounts. Typically an LLC on all of these as well. And you can tell I'm not an art major. And in here, I'm a business guy though. And so what I would do when running multiple accounts is I would have your one parent company, a holding company, HC here at the top, right? And we're going to put in red for holding company. And then on the bottom, we're going to put blue. These are our blue balls are for, gosh dang it. Here is the LLCs or holding companies underneath the holding company. Let's see if I can do this with a straight face. So with that in mind, you're going to want to have certain things taken care of underneath each account. So under each account, you're not going to want to have very many things shared. So here's some baseline rules. Number 1, you cannot share a bank account. You can share a bank name, right? So let's say I'm using a credit union or a national bank of some kind. I would have the ability to take that particular bank and have 3 accounts or 3 checking numbers with them. Capiche? No problem. Okay, I could also do the same thing with credit cards. So I could have an Amex or a Barclays card or Capital One, doesn't matter, and have multiple cards underneath one account. And I would then go to account 1, account 2, account 3 here. And underneath each of these, we'll draw in with a little pencil here. I could have credit card 1, credit card 2, and credit card 3. And my face is now over that, so I'll move me up here on the top. So basically, underneath each of these, you would have 1 credit card per account. Same thing with bank account 1, bank account 2, and bank account 3. And inside of this, these checking numbers could be as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 6, and 4, 7, right? Totally fine if it's 1 digit apart. No problem there as long as they are unique. Okay, so unique credit card, unique bank account. Legal entity, same thing. LLC 1, 2, and 3. You cannot have the same LLC or same tax infrastructure, same company, legal entity across these accounts, not at the Amazon account level. So right here, this is each individual LLC, okay? The holding company is never given to Amazon. So your holding company name might be Brands Are Us Holding Company. LLC 1 might be Brand 1, LLC 2 might be Brand 2, and LLC 3 might be Brand number 3. Capiche? No problem there. Okay? And some things to keep in mind. You cannot sell the same ASIN across multiple accounts. You can sell the same brand across multiple accounts, though I would discourage that. And you can sell the same category. So if you're an Amazon aggregator watching this and you're wondering, hey, can I sell in the baby goods category across 3 accounts? The answer is yes, no problem. Some people might wonder, hey, if I acquire another brand and they only had one ASIN, should I just go ahead and suck them into my current Seller Central account? Answer and survey is typically yes. Typically some benefits to doing that, especially if you have other roll-up brands in the same product category. It makes it easier to manage, especially if it's a small amount of SKUs. Now, one thing to keep in mind though, if you have all this history in the account, so let's say the account's 2, 3, 4 years old, right? If you are advertising on this account and have thousands of transactions on a particular campaign, or even just hundreds of transactions on a particular advertising campaign, and then you, on the same account, just made a new campaign, that campaign will not match the conversion or the ACoS levels of the original campaign for about 4 to 8 weeks, with an average of 6 being the average. Now, same principle applies. Let's say I have account 1 and account 2, and I'm bringing one ASIN from account 1 over to account number 2. Well, if I replicated all of the same campaign structures, and let's just assume for logistics ease in this example here that the account transfer was seamless and there's no delays in logistics, okay, just for a moment. The new campaign structure would take 6 weeks on average to catch up to the original account. So when you're doing your forecasting and you're thinking about potential impacts or challenges to switching a product from one account to another, these are key things to take into account or keep in mind. All right, so don't sell the same ASIN across multiple accounts. And if you're going to do a transfer, be prepared for some transitionary pains. Okay, now the one question that I just got double confirmed today is VAT. So if you're in the European market, say you're a European aggregator, VAT 1, VAT 2, and VAT 3. I have some bad news. You must have one individual VAT per seller account. You can't just simply take the holding company VAT and apply it. So we're going to put this in orange. This does not work. No. So unfortunately, this doesn't work, and that's because each individual company, a la LLC, must have its own VAT. So you can't just do one VAT registration. So if you're operating in Europe, this is bad news because VAT is a pain in the butt. And so is operating multiple LLCs for that matter. But at least in the US market, it's not as bad. That is significantly more complicated in the EU market. This is also why I'm not a big fan of launching an EU right now. It's got more sophistication. That is super expensive, like 20%, customs, and logistics hurdles. And of course, there's that big event going in the eastern part of Europe right now. So those are all reasons why I'm soft on the EU market. Now, if you are going to go over there, Germany, definitely the best market. UK, number 2. Some of the other secondary marketplaces, not as hot. So that's my opinion on that front. So what happens if you are purchasing accounts? So let's say you originally only owned LLC 1 right here. If this is you and you don't have a holding company yet, can you purchase a second account like this and start operating? Yes. Simply put, I would go ahead and restructure immediately, and I would get that holding company done and get that in motion, because the holding company will simplify your tax filings at the end of the year. You can simply just file that one holding company across entities. If you don't do this, then you're going to file one set for each LLC. So the quicker you get the infrastructure in place, and you can do this with either a lawyer or a CPA. CPAs can typically help with legal entity filings. I don't have a strong opinion on which way is the better to go, but obviously lawyers cost more. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, if you are going from purchasing your second account here, what do you need to keep in mind? Well, first of all, Amazon's cool with it. Multiple accounts, totally part of TNC, no problem there. Second of all the horror stories from 2019 or before are really done, right? Like if 2020 and 2021 was like the era of the aggregator, and I'm a little soft on aggregators going into 2022. I think we're going to see a lot of challenges at the aggregator level. Their debt to equity ratio is a little out of proportions right now. We're talking 4 times the debt versus the equity. And I don't think that model is sustainable based on the current economic landscape. So I think we're going to see some softening of the aggregator model this year. I'm a big proponent of investing in the space, and I do think the aggregators are generally helping the Amazon community by bringing money into the space. But in general, I think that their model is suffering right now. And so they're going to have to retool and rethink things. Part of the problem is when people were running multiple accounts, the theory was if you bring in multiple accounts together, you can get some cost savings. You can bring in more sophistication, pay better people, but have them work on more things. That was the theory. The problem in practice was they didn't hire the right people, and they didn't get the right cost savings. I kept seeing like all these press releases of aggregators hiring Amazon executives, and it's like, what the frick? Why would they help you? The Amazon executives aren't going to open any doors for you. They're not going to be able to get you a better deal or a better price on your COGS or anything like that. And they also don't even know how their own platform works. Like the right hand at Amazon doesn't understand what the left hand is doing. So the agencies out there all saw the ags come in and were like, yeah, I don't really know about you guys, right? Because like we've invested in people and infrastructure, and I have a 50-person catalog team, right? Like troubleshooting catalog issues, and I don't even know if another aggregator out there has a catalog team, right? Like they've got PPC guys and they got quantitative experts and finance MBA suits, if as it were, but they didn't invest in the sort of like tactical support required to run Amazon accounts, which is why I felt like the one aggregator model that would work was the one where they bought the companies but kept the business owners on and gave them an incentive to keep the account running, versus the aggregators that tried to hire internally and build everything and create sophistication inside of a hub. That model suffers when you don't hire the right people. So that's kind of my thought process on that. But kind of roping in everything together, back to the fact that Amazon is okay with multiple accounts. It's okay if you are operating 100 accounts. Amazon is indifferent to this question. So you don't need to worry about having a VPN protector or your IP addresses, because guess what? Amazon knows you have multiple accounts. No matter what actions you take, they're going to know. Just don't break the rules. Don't sell the same ASIN across multiple accounts. Make sure when you transfer accounts, you don't put the bank account transfer right before a deposit switches, right? Like if you got a $100,000 deposit going in 48 hours and you switch the bank account, of course they're going to like flag and trigger a security review. So what you want to do when you transfer an account in is switch that bank account right after a deposit, within 72 hours or 5 days at max after a deposit. So when you're setting up your closing dates, keep those sort of dates in mind for easier transfer. If you do get a security flag or something when you transfer an account in, what will happen is they'll just revert it backwards, and then they might remove access for 24, 48 hours while they do a manual security review. And if they do a manual security review, it gives you a little bit of a heart flutter. It's nothing to worry about. They just revert it back, and then you can switch it again. And so if that were to happen, you want to contact Amazon and basically just explain, hey, we're transferring the account. There's no security issue, but you're going to have to log into the original admin account when that happens. And so I used to tell people they needed to tell Amazon ahead of time or ticket and say, hey, this is something that's going on. We're going to be transferring it. That's really no longer the case. Just go ahead and produce your transfer. You can switch the legal name. You can redo the tax interview, switch the admin email address, update a credit card. No problem, willy-nilly. With the bank, though, be careful on the bank one. Do that after a deposit goes through to avoid any security reviews. Finally, if you're not buying another account, but you're just simply launching a new account, one of the best things to do is have an insider at Amazon sales team give you a strategic invite for that second account. It'll bypass all of the identity verification issues. And so if you work with my Amazon guy, we will get you access to that so you can bypass some of those identity verifications. We help people run multiple accounts all the time. We have many providers we work with that have 20 plus accounts. We're basically an aggregator right now. I personally have access to more than 500 Seller Central accounts right this moment, currently operate in about 220 of them as full service management. We do a lot of project work on the side, which is why we have access to so many different accounts. So we've seen like all the trends, what one account might see in the course of a year, we'll see in the course of a day or even multiple times in a day, very, very speedily. So it's okay to run multiple accounts. Just follow the rules. Make sure you're cognizant of all these challenges that can come up when doing so, and operate, everything just like we talked about in our chart today. If you've got questions about running multiple accounts or opening up second accounts, leave them in the comments section. It'd be my pleasure to help you out. We have other videos on this subject, aggregators, multiple accounts, you name it, it's here. Over 1,000 videos on YouTube now with My Amazon Guy. So thanks very much for watching. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy.